Good morning, pool deck people. Jeff with Encore Brands here. It's March 30th, 2023. I got a brand new video for you about exposed aggregate pool deck surfaces and what you can do with it with the cool pool deck coating. Okay, so we went up to North Carolina. I did not do the installation. I'm basically just going to see a contractor up there and walking him through it, just kind of putting eyes on the job and thinking out loud for you. Okay, so you'll see in the video we actually run into an issue on site, one that you definitely need to be aware of and how to remedy that if you run into it. Also, this is not a technical how-to video, so if you're looking for a step 1, step 2, step 3, this is how you do it, definitely follow or watch my other GoPro how-to video, and that's the same process that you'll follow for exposed aggregate. Okay, but this is really good to see. Also, I have not done a cool pool deck coating video in over 2 years. So I've been a little busy with other things, and you're going to find out what exactly that is in this video. So thank you for watching as always. It's Jeff with Encore Brands. It is 888-776-2242. EncoreCoatings.com. Please call us anytime, and thank you for watching these videos. If you watch some other ones, you know I can talk forever, but I promise you there's some really good information in here. So thank you, as always. I hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye. This is Jeff. How can I help you?
Hey, Jeff. This is Rob. I just got your voicemail. I think you left me a minute or two ago.
Yeah, how you doing, Rob?
Good. So I do have one or two quick questions. I think I found a lot on your website that answered a lot of things, but I'm just curious from your perspective, a little bit on what I'm trying to accomplish, if it makes sense.
Sure.
Essentially, I have that exposed aggregate surrounding my pool, and you know what led me to your guys' website is that when I contact local concrete contractors or pool companies, they're like 30 grand.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to rip all this up or diamond grind it down to nothing over 5 days and spend that much. I'm looking for a somewhat simpler solution, which, like I said, is what brought me to your website. So I'm just curious from your perspective, from what you guys recommend that the Encore, I'm like re-pulling it up, your normal stuff, just to make sure that kind of works pretty well from making it so that it's not so hard on the feet, because that's really my main concern is like walking on that exposed aggregate in the summer literally tears up your feet.
It tears up your feet. I know, it's sharp and it's so funny. Alright everybody, what's up? It's Jeff with Encore Brands. We are on our way to Wilmington, North Carolina, and we got about 5 hours ahead of us. And why are we going to Wilmington? Well, we're going to Wilmington because there's a big exposed aggregate pool deck up here that we are going to help out a little bit and certainly document it. So exposed aggregate pool decks, and I've done a little video on exposed aggregate before. The big three things that people run into with these decks is that they're sharp to walk on, they get hot, and a lot of times people want to change the look of that aggregate, maybe to something a little more contemporary, a little more modern. But I did that little video, and the only thing wrong with that video is that it's not on an actual pool. It's on a little simulation I did of epoxy and rock that I did, and it just turned out, it was okay for a conceptual video, but it's nowhere near being on a real pool deck with a real exposed aggregate substrate, so you can really see how it transforms the pool. So I don't know how big this job is. I think it's fairly large. I think it's 5,000 to 6,000, 7,000 square feet. Hopefully we're gonna have a really good before and after to show you guys after this of exposed aggregate and what you can turn it into using the cool pool deck coating. So stay tuned. All right guys, so we're an hour and a half away, and just some final thoughts before we get here. A big question for people who have aggregate decks is like, hey, I'm gonna put 2 coats of cool on this, I'm gonna put 2 coats of the clear sealer on this. Is it going to make it a smooth finish afterwards? And the answer is no. So cool is not designed to flood the surface, fill in the low spots for a smooth, non-contoured finish afterwards. It's not going to do that. So therefore, you'll still have the contours of those pebbles, but it's going to have a new layer of armor on top of it, any color you want. That being said, if you want to preserve the natural look of the stones, this product is not for you. Again, it's a solid color coating, 2 coats plus 2 coats of clear sealer, but you'll no longer be able to see the natural colors of, you know, if you had flagstone or pavers or something like that, this product cannot come in clear. And another thing, how much does it fill in? Depending on how aggressive the contour and the topography of your exposed aggregate is, sometimes it could take 3 coats. It's always a 2-coat application. It could take 3 coats just to kind of fill that in a little more. If it's really brutal on your feet now, consider a 3rd coat. Of course, that will weigh on your material requirement. So per your square footage, just pick up the phone, call us, and we'll make it really easy on you what you can expect. The cleaner is not really going to be affected as far as coverage goes. The Triple Crown cleaner, that will give you about 200 to 225 square feet every time. The coating itself, you know, on smooth concrete, it would complete 200 square feet every time with 2 coats. But with something like exposed aggregate, which is very contoured, it's going to cut the coverage in half. Yes, it's more of an investment up front because it's just soaking up so much cool, but it's worth it because it makes your pool deck functional again. It's going to be comfortable to walk on. You'll be able to enjoy it, and it's a great opportunity to transform the outdoor environment by just making your pool deck more modern and maybe contrasting it or complementing it to an existing color scheme you might have going on out there, because you can have any color you want with cool. So thank you for watching. As always, it's been 2 years since I put a video up about cool, and you may have noticed we're with Encore Brands now. Okay, we're no longer Encore Coatings, we're now Encore Brands. Encore Coatings is still around, but it's under the umbrella of Encore Brands because we've been diversifying our portfolio as far as products we make and brands we are manufacturing. Something we've been up to, something I've been involved with pretty heavily the last 2 years, is our latest brand. It's called Lemongrass Farms, and Lemongrass Farms is an all-natural insect repellent. Okay, you got Trek for kids. Guys, there is nothing synthetic in here whatsoever. There's not a synthetic fragrance, there's not a preservative. You got of course, the twist lock here. This is a continuous spray can. It's called a BOV can, a bag on valve, which is propelled by clean air. But this formula here, we have a full-time chemist now who is an essential oil guru. Okay, so our active ingredients are essential oils, pure essential oils. You got geranium oil, lemongrass oil, peppermint oil, and cedarwood oil. Those are the active ingredients, and the other ingredients are plant-based moisturizers. So when we say this thing is all natural, it is 100% bio-based. You know, all natural doesn't really mean necessarily what it used to mean in a lot of ways. One could even argue that like Coca-Cola is all natural. Let me hit my exit here. We wanted to come up with something that feels great on your skin and is effective at keeping mosquitoes and bugs away, but also smells great and it's great for you. This is a carbon neutral product. The packaging is completely sustainable and recyclable. But the best thing about this is that I can just spray my hand all day, okay, and rub this in, and it's so lightweight. It's a water-based formula, so there's no soybean oil in here like a lot of other all-natural insect repellents might take those good essential oils and then they ruin it by pouring it into soybean oil as a carrier. And although soybean oil is of course all natural, soybean oil is greasy, it's sticky, it doesn't dry, it oxidizes quickly on your skin, so it becomes rancid. It's a lot of, it's not the best choice, but it's easier than emulsifying the pure essential oils into water, from a manufacturing standpoint. So we put a huge emphasis on our formula and making sure it feels good. It's the bug spray you love to use. Okay, so again, you got Trek and you got Trek for kids. Okay, this is Chilo, our little caricature mascot, and then you have Scram, which is an all-natural, bio-based fly repellent for outdoor dining areas. So you're at the barbecue, you're at the crawfish boil, you're at the, you know, whatever the function is, you spray this around on the table. Perhaps before you set the table, you spray it around. It's an area treatment that keeps flies away. Okay, so these are awesome products. This is our first lifestyle brand, and the launch has just been amazing. We just got back from Expo West in Los Angeles, Anaheim. Great response. So for 2023, today's March what? March 22nd. 22nd. For 2023, you can find us in Walmart, Food Lion, Menards, Harris Teeter, and Lowe's Foods. We're also coming to a bunch of Ace Hardwares. So this has been just an incredible launch. I want to thank everybody who's been a part of this, our creative team, our chemist, the back of the house, everyone involved in the branding. But this is what I've been up to. So if I know, you know, you probably watch, if you're watching this, you're here for pool decks, and we're going to get back to that right now. But thank you for everyone who's been involved, and let us know what you think about this. I think you're really going to like this. There's never really been a bug spray you love to use. A lot of bug sprays are either DEET based, which is not the healthiest choice, to put it lightly. And then the other all-natural products, although they are all natural, you're making some kind of concession as to, you know, do they feel great? Are they going to leave you feeling greasy and sticky? Do they work? Yada, yada. So we feel like we put a lot of time into this, and we're really proud of it. But back to pool decks. We are an hour and a half out. We're going to give you some good before and afters. I hope we get here in time. I think they're going to be rolling out the first coat when we get on site. And looking forwad to showing you guys this, because it's one of those applications where there's not a lot of products for exposed aggregate, and if you're okay with having a solid color out there and losing the natural colors of that rock, Cool is a great option, a very logical solution that doesn't require grinding and removal and demolition and repouring of new concrete. You know, this is a great way to buy some time and remodel, you know, I don't want to say on a budget, but certainly cheaper than demolition and all those things. So stay tuned. We're not far. Nice.
So this is our project.
This is beautiful, man. Got the setup. Sidewalks, everything.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of people just over the decades pressure wash it so much that these pebbles are really exposed. Yes. So the cream of this concrete is still really nice.
Yeah, you got to put it in. Did a nice job. But
You filming me? Am I connected?
Oh yeah.
Good. All right, so get a good zoom on that. And I'm kind of just picking up a roller that I found, so I can't really confirm the nap roller size on this, but it should be at least a 3/4 inch. So that's what you want right there. So rolled it over. You still have the contour of the pebbles, of course, but you can zoom in on this, and you can kind of tell how sharp this would be on your feet. This is just one coat, so keep in mind that this is what you want. You don't want to like flood the surface out for a super smooth. Too thick is just as bad as too thin. So first coat. You found some. Awesome.
oh yeah.
Not good. So if y'all see that, don't apply anything to it.
Okay. I haven't seen any, at least in what we've done so far, so there's that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think this is just from a runoff where y'all doing crack repair. So we're gonna try to get it out of here. You know, I think you see how colored the water is in that ditch. So I think, over here you had, a thick white deposit. Yeah. You know, so that looks to be gone. Yep. So you think it's just runoff from the concrete, the crack repair? Yeah.
Well, to best word it, we did the crack, we put the cement in, and then rain. And it piled and pulled. So it sat there. Yeah. So this is a residual dust.
Right, from the repair.
Yeah.
So spray it, wash it, you know.
All right, get rid of the chalk, guys.
Yeah, if you're coming up with chalk, more attention. Yeah, chalk is bad. All right, so what we're doing right now behind me is we've got some muriatic acid. We're doing another wash. As you can maybe see, I hope you can hear me. As you can maybe see, the first coat is like halfway done. So why exactly do we have the pressure washer out, acid washing? It's because that right there. So what had happened is they did some crack repairs, had some quick set concrete cement to basically anchor in some crack repair staples. Water came too soon earlier this week and interrupted the cure of that cementitious repair material. So now what you're seeing is this stuff, white calcium powder across the deck, just in various areas, just these little hot spots, and we need to get those out of here, because if you've watched my other videos on bad concrete, it is the kiss of death for our coating and any coating you might consider. All right. You running? Mm-hmm. All right. Day 2. We're back here. It was raining a little bit this morning. It rained a little bit last night on the first coat. We only got they only got about half of the first coat done, and then we stopped because I was walking around the deck. I noticed the lighter spots. Anytime I see really light white spots on bare concrete, especially newer concrete within a couple years old, or even if any deck, you know, I always like to reach my hand down, rub it. If you get that white chalky residue, which I've done a lot of videos on bad concrete and the way it responds when it doesn't cure correctly, what we actually found out here is a lot of that chalky calcium powder that had come from a repair product. So basically, anytime you have a cementitious or mortar-based product, if it rains too soon on that product, if it's too hot, if it's not mixed correctly, a lot of minerals are in that, and a lot of times it doesn't get integrated into the repair. So what we had was, you know, they made the repairs, then it rained that night. This was a few nights ago, and in the drainage ways where the water was running, you had a lot of this calcium stuff. So we stopped the project, said, hey, we gotta, you know, he had some muriatic acid, so Rex sprayed the muriatic on there just for safe measure, rinsed it off, neutralized it this morning, and we're back at it. Caden and I have to leave today around lunchtime, so hopefully we get a good before and after for you guys. Just real quick, I want to show him, this is how you mix the cool, what he has right there is the part A resin that comes in the bucket. It's a water-based resin system, and then what also comes in the bucket is a part B, big bag of powder. And what he's doing is he's adding the liquid first, which is awesome, and then he's going to add a gallon of paint. So this is A100 from Sherwin-Williams, probably in a satin finish. 1 gallon of any color you want, 1 gallon of paint per bucket. And then lastly, he'll add that bag of powder, give it a good mix. So there's plenty of other videos on this, but just wanted to show it real quick.
He doesn't like, he's not, you know, he's a real nice guy, but he just doesn't want any problems with walking on this deck anymore.
Right, it was just too rough on his feet, you know?
It was rough on mine.
It was it?
I don't know anybody that doesn't find it rough, you know what I mean?
Right.
The problem is his wife, when they bought the property, it had it out there. She wanted it to match. And they said as soon as they got done the job, and the first day they walked out on it, they said, we made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can see for the camera, this is 2 coats. And it has definitely, try to keep my shadow out of it, but it has definitely filled in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more comfy to walk on.
Yeah.
You can choose any color you want, as you can see, installed with standard paint tools. And this is about 6,000 square feet. And how many buckets did we bring in for this?
64.
64 units of cool, just to accommodate for the coverage loss on this type of surface. And Rex was saying we might do 2 coats, we might do 3, depending on what the homeowner, he's going to walk on it after 2 coats, see if he likes it. If it's still too rough, you can go with a 3rd. So consider that if you have exposed aggregate. Right there.
Yep.
Shrink cracking.
Yes,
You can are you filming?
Yep.
Am I connected?
Yep.
All right, so what we're seeing here, sometimes I tell people too thick is just as bad as too thick.
Yep.
Or too thin.
Too thin.
So what we call this is shrink cracking,
Yep.
where it's just too much product and it just shrinks. It's easy to fix, you can fix it, but that's why
What's the fix?
well, right now, is it still wet?
No.
Okay, yeah, this is dry. I mean, another coat could go over this and you'd hide the shrink cracks. But this you just want to like cure a lot longer than something, you know, thin like this.
Okay.
But you know, it's not, if it's not, it's solid. I mean, it's still, it's curing,
But
you know.
is it better to scrape that, or is it just paint over it?
I think you could paint over this. In this case, there's a bond has developed.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if it's really, really thick, it won't. You'll see it kind of just flake off. But this is pretty solid. But it cosmetically, you could see those shrink cracks develop if you just throw it out too thick, and you know, you stand up, you can barely see it. But this is Jeff. How can I help you?
Hey Jeff, this is Rob. I just got your voicemail. I think you left me a minute or 2 ago.
Yeah, how you doing, Rob?
Good. So I do have 1 or 2 quick questions. I think I found a lot on your website that answered a lot of things, but I'm just curious from your perspective, a little bit on what I'm trying to accomplish, if it makes sense.
Sure.
Essentially, I have that exposed aggregate surrounding my pool, and you know what led me to your guys' website is that, you know, when I contact, you know, local concrete contractors or pool companies, they're like 30 grand.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to rip all this up or you know, diamond grind it down to nothing over 5 days and spend that much. I'm like, I'm looking for a somewhat simpler solution. Make sure that kind of works pretty well from making it so that it's not so hard on the feet. Because that's really my main concern, is like walking on that exposed aggregate in the summer, like literally tears up your feet.
It tears up your feet. I know, it's sharp, and it's so funny because we're leaving Wilmington, North Carolina right now, back towards Atlanta. We came up here because there was 6,000 square feet of aggregate. Came up here to actually kind of film some of that. Because, you know, you might have seen the video we have on exposed aggregate, and it's not really a true representation. It's more of a simulation of it.
Yeah,
so,
I saw the one where he had like 2 of the pieces, you know, kind of like in a box, where he was running it over and doing like basically like a test run. You know, it was like a very small sample size.
Right. Right. So to answer your question, yes, it's a logical solution outside of all that demolition and grinding that you would need to do. Like you said, someone's going to come out 30 grand later. Yeah, you could do that if it's in the budget, but a lot of times it's not needed or necessary unless you just totally don't want the contour at all of those pebbles.
And yeah, mine's in decent shape. I just want to fill it in, make it smoother than it is today, and just kind of, you know, that's really my main thing. The fact that it's temperature controlled is more of a bonus than anything.
Right. Yeah, well, you found the right product, because it's this is, although you're applying it with standard paint tools, it's much more robust than, let's say, a paint or a stain. It's actually going to add body to the low spots. It's also going to protect the peak and the tops of the pebbles as well. You know, if it's really, really, really sharp, you might need 3 coats. But we just walked off a job, and 2 coats was visibly better. I mean, you could just tell. Yeah. You could just tell. And
generally speaking, I know, like, I watch your YouTube videos. I'm certainly not a contractor, but I'm not completely unhandy either. Is it something you feel like you've normally seen people can do themselves, or, like, I mean, what are the pitfalls I would run into just in case I tried to take this on?
Well, yes, you can absolutely do this yourself. If you could have someone help you out, a buddy or a son or someone help you out, that would be best. But you could definitely tackle this yourself and save a lot of money. So there you have it, guys. I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry I didn't stay till the end of the project to get that boom money shot, you know, but I hope you got a true representation of what you can realistically expect on your job. So as always, please give us a call. I hope this was helpful. EncoreCoatings.com. My name is Jeff. 888-776-2242 is how you can reach me. Thank you so much. As always, have a great day. Be well.